Hey guys, welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show with Peter Yu. Today we're going to talk about mat side coaching. It's
Yeah, this
exciting
was
stuff.
this was a suggestion from one of our patrons, Sean. Thanks for
Mm,
the suggestion.
nice.
So I think we're talking more about in a tournament when you go to a tournament as a coach
Yep.
on the math side.
Yep.
What do you say? Like, do you yell out the technique names or what?
Yeah.
So Shintaro's been on in that position a lot. So
Yep.
we're very interested in hearing your thoughts.
Yes. First and foremost, please go to shintarohigashi.com. This is a selfless, shameless plug, right?
uh,
Shintarohigashi.com. There's a lot of stuff there. You can sign up for one-to-one online coaching with me as well, or you could
yeah.
have a schedule a call with me and we could talk like this, just like this. And then if you have questions, you can ask me directly.
Uh,
All that stuff. There's videos out there, et cetera, et cetera. All right, mat side coaching.
yeah.
So that's a very interesting thing. And I love going to these tournaments. Actually, I don't love going to tournaments at all. But when I go to these tournaments, I love
Yeah.
listening in on what the coaches are saying to their athletes,
Yeah.
even when I'm not involved in the match at all.
Right.
Even when there's no investment, like my guy's not just two random people fighting with two random coaches,
It
you
reveals
know?
a lot about the dojo and then the coach and then the athlete.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hear things like just get up or
Yeah.
go ahead and throw them or let's go. And like, rip it and roar or like snap down and go or
Yeah.
whatever it
Ouchigai,
is,
ouchigai.
and those things are good, you know, if that's what the athlete actually needs.
Yeah.
And when you're just listening to that, you could always be very critical and be like, this guy's, he doesn't know what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
You hear this like Tayatoshi, Tayatoshi. It's like, wait a minute, why? You know, because he's in losing position and the guy already showed that he can counter this thing. Why would he go
Yeah.
for that?
Yeah.
So maybe the coach doesn't have a good understanding of the technique or
Mm.
whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But maybe there's some things I'm missing when I'm listening in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You can't really judge because maybe they've been working on it.
Maybe they won't,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Maybe
Maybe
they've
it's
been
like a
working on it.
code word or
It could be
something.
a
Yeah.
code word, probably not, but like it could be,
Yeah.
right? Maybe like, oh, like, hey, let's do Tayo and this guy, and then they
Um,
prepare together.
yeah.
And so there's a trust between these two people, right?
Yeah.
Hey man, I know you lost to this guy before, but and then the kid like, I really want to throw him Taitoshi. All right, we're gonna go for it, right? We're gonna go out
Yeah.
there and do our best Taitoshi against him. Right. So maybe, even if the opportunity is not there really,
Hmm.
right? The coach is like, Taitoshi, Taitoshi. And that could be something that the kid could hear and be like, okay, that's good,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe. But is that the best type of mat thai coaching? No, I don't think so.
So what would be the best type? Yeah.
I think majority of the mat side coaching is already done before, right? Right. It's like
Right.
95% is understanding each other in the gym.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
knowing each other's weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
And then sort of having that mental connection and then
Yeah.
that trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
If somebody's doing judo out there and they're kind of getting a little bit like, oh man, I don't know what's going on or whatever it is, the coach can sort of say, like, hey, this is what's happening. You got to do this. Don't let the hand come over the back,
Hmm.
whatever it is, right? And they have plans for each one of these things and things that they say that could trigger certain sequences,
Right. Right.
right? For instance, two guys are doing judo. One of my guys is doing judo. He's getting out gripped.
Yeah.
Right. Saying don't let that hand come over the back is not very helpful
Yeah.
because the other guy is gaming for that hand position.
Right. Right.
He's good at it, you know?
Yeah.
And if he just focus on not letting him do it, every time the guy gets that hand over the top, he's failing, right?
Hmm.
And maybe the athlete thinks, oh man, I'm letting my coach down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever, oh, I'm failing, right? But if we have all right, don't let the hand come over the back. Hand comes over the back. Okay, go for your Tomonagi bailout sequences,
Hmm.
right? Or I just even say bailout sequence. If I say
Because
Tomonagi,
you
other
guys
guy
been
hearing
working
this
on
too.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
working on it, right? So it's like bailout sequence 1 or 2, okay? 1 or 2, A or B, A or B.
Yeah.
And, we both know bailout number 1 might be Tomonage.
Mhm.
Number 2 might be a shitty Sumigaeshi.
Yeah.
And bailout 3 is a drop Senagi.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 3 of those sort of things in the bag, and we've already kind of talked about it, understand about it,
Mhm.
right? Obviously, we don't want him to get that dominant grip.
Right. Right.
Dominant grip comes over, okay, bail out, bang. Tomonage comes in. Next sequence, other guy's probably thinking it's like, oh, Tomonage's coming.
Yeah.
And now it's like, all right, get back in there, fight for position, fight for position. He's going out there putting the hands on, right? Maybe he gets it, maybe he doesn't,
Hmm. Right.
right? And then
So.
maybe he goes for that Tomonage and the other guy almost goes over.
Hmm. So it's not like you gotta put in the work before you actually mad side coach,
Yeah,
you
Matt
know?
Goes, yes.
Yeah,
And then it's
so
trust that their coach really
yeah,
knows what he's talking about.
right.
Because if he goes to that Tomonage during that bailout
Yeah,
and he sees that it can be potentially effective,
right, right.
that's going to be the plan now, right?
Uh-huh.
Hey, that Tomonage is going to work. Putting that confidence. Maybe the guy's not even a Tomonage guy, my guy,
Mhm.
but the
Right.
other guy's so inexperienced or hasn't been encountered with good Tomonage before that he doesn't really know how to defend it well.
Mm.
And maybe I already saw before in a different match,
Right, right,
right,
right.
that this guy sucks at Newaza, can't pass anyone's guard.
Yeah, then
So now that's like open season for spamming
yeah,
Tomonage.
yeah.
Don't lock
It's
up. Just go Tomonage. Just go Tomonage. Fake Tomonage coachy. Go Tomonage. Go Tomonage, right?
uh
And then the athlete might be thinking to himself, like, I'm not really good at it, but because he trusts me,
yeah.
right? He
Little
thinks
trust.
maybe,
Yeah.
oh, Shintaro sees something that I don't while I'm out
Yeah.
here. I'm going
Yeah.
to go for it, right? So now that's good mat side coaching because there's something that I know about this guy because I've done my homework.
Mhm.
The athlete trusts me. I see something that the athlete may not, right? And now,
That's a good point because
yes, and it's
when you
concise, right? And
yeah,
it's like,
as an athlete, like you sometimes, especially if you don't have that much competition experience, you're nervous,
yeah,
your adrenaline pumping, you're not really thinking, you're like just so
yeah,
spazzy, yada yada yada. But then
yeah,
good mass side coaching like that, like very concise to the point, with trust, you can ground the athlete back, and
yeah,
then it's like,
yeah.
oh, you snap out of that survival mode and you're
Mm.
actually playing, you
Yes,
know?
yes, yes. And sometimes it's a confidence thing, you
Yeah.
know? I'll tell you this, man. I fought this kid, Jake,
Uh-huh.
right? And he was a student of a guy that was pretty good
Hmm.
at judo.
Yeah.
And there's no way that this guy could have beaten me, really, right?
Uh-huh.
There's no way, right? Like I was so much better than him in every
All right.
way. But he's a big, strong kid.
Yeah.
And then the kid was timid coming out,
Mhm.
and I launched him right off the bat. Bang, huge throw. Was
Uh-huh.
I, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the coach goes, "That's all he's got."
Oh,
And then like on the side, like you've seen the best of it. That's all he's got,
oh,
right?
about you.
Yeah. And then he's like,
Yeah.
the kid's like, "Huh?" He's like, "Just go for stuff, man. Come on, slip a leg in." And it was so
Yeah.
like playful and fun and
Yeah.
nonchalant. Just slip a
Yeah.
leg and go for it.
Uh-huh.
And then I listened to it. I'm like, "What do you mean slip a leg and go for it, you little bitch?" Like I'm thinking to myself, like, "What do you mean that's all I got?"
Yeah. It
And the
got to
guy,
you.
it
Yeah.
got to me a little bit. And then he like slips the leg and goes for Uchimata. And I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa!" Right? And I'm hopping off,
All right.
defending it. And then the guy's like, "You see, he's gonna fall. He's gonna tip right over. Not that good." And then I'm thinking to myself, like, "What?" You know? And then like I score again, and I'm like, "This is Yuko days," and I'm like
Yeah.
scrapping with them and like taking him down and almost turning him and almost choking him, almost on. I'm like,
Yeah.
in by anybody's standards, like I'm like kind of dominating this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But every time like we go out of bounds or something, and the coach is like, "And so that's it, man. You got this. You got this. You're doing good, man. You're doing good." And he was just giving positive vibes to this kid. That's it.
Right.
You're
Right.
not that good. Like, you got this, man. Like, this guy
Yeah.
sucks. What are you talking about? He's terrible. When he caught you once or twice, that's all he's got. You've seen all this shit. Get out there. Come on. You just
Uh,
catch him. You catch him.
yeah.
And then I started getting tired.
Oh,
And
man.
the coach, like, he's tired. He's huffing and puffing. He's out of shape. He's breathing hard. Pulls his head down. And the kid got fired up. He, like, started coming at me like freaking
Uh-huh.
crazy, right? He's like
Uh,
pulling my head down, kicking me in the leg, like attacking
uh.
like crazy. And then I got a penalty.
Oh, okay. Passivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm
Yeah.
like getting even more tired, right?
Right.
And he's like,
Demoralizing. Yeah.
pulling my head down.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." And like, if you look at the scoreboard, I'm dominating him.
Yeah. Was
But
already
like,
you go
and I'm
up.
listening
Yeah.
to the coach of the other kid
Yeah.
as he's getting to me, you
Right.
know? It's like, holy shit. And then
Who
this
was
kid,
it?
like, yeah,
Who was in your corner?
my dad.
What did he say?
Something like, this is, I don't know. I can't even remember.
Because the other coach was getting to you. You don't even
It
remember
was
what your
getting me.
dad
Yeah,
told you.
yeah. I
Yeah,
wasn't even
yeah,
listening. He was
yeah,
probably saying something like, Uchimata, throw Uchimata.
yeah,
And like, yeah, Uchimata was there. You know what
yeah.
I mean? But it's like I wasn't like even in the right mindset for that.
Right.
You
Oh,
know?
dang.
I didn't know what I needed at that time,
Yeah.
but I don't
So
know,
what?
man. If I was in the coaching seat, I probably would have been like, "Hey, man, don't listen to that guy.
Yeah.
Listen to me. You got it. You're doing great. Catch your
Right.
breath. Take it." take this exchange to grip and back out to
Yeah.
catch your breath, collect yourself. You're in the lead, burn some time doing newaza. Probably would have been a great advice.
Yeah,
Right?
a good coach would
Uh,
recognize that his
yeah.
or her athlete is, like, getting tired, nervous, whatever.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was
Uh,
like a minute left or something, and I was like
uh,
panicking. I wasn't even losing. I'm
yeah,
telling
you're
you.
winning, yeah.
And then the way this coach was talking to his guy is like, "Hey, you got this, dude. You
Uh,
got it." And I'm like thinking to myself, like, in what world would he have this man? Like,
yeah.
you know? And then I threw him Harai free poem, but like still, but it was like I was really
Oh,
panicky.
man, you're getting me nervous. I was like, "Wow," and then you lost
Yeah.
by penalty or something? Okay,
And you want to know what the
you,
coach said to me after the match?
what did he say?
He goes, you know what your problem was, kid, to me? I was a younger kid.
Oh, dang.
I go, what? And he goes, you gave him too much confidence. You didn't throw him right away.
Okay.
That's what he said. And then
Yeah.
I was like, I was trying.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
he's like, yeah, you should have just bombed him right away. You gave him too much confidence.
Oh
Like
my
now he's
god.
coming for you.
Yeah.
Now he knows he could beat you. And I was
Oh
like,
gosh.
it got to me a little bit. I was like, huh. And then I thought to myself, I don't want to fight this kid again.
Oh, it's like
Yeah,
your
yeah,
boogie
yeah.
he's become your boogeyman, huh?
A
Yeah,
little bit. I mean,
yeah,
like there's very huge skill gap there between me and that
right.
kid, right? But like still, like that. But I was like, I remember thinking now, like that was
Uh-huh.
good coaching. That was
Yeah,
straight good coaching. Right?
that's a great example. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
It
knowing what the athlete needs,
yeah, trust and
sometimes it's like poking at the other person's insecurity, and mine was gas. I had a bad
yeah,
gas tank then
yeah,
because I was, hanging out a lot.
yeah,
Right? My cardio was never that good. I'm a short twitch guy, fast twitch
yeah.
guy, and so
That's good.
like knowing what your athlete needs is good. I'm not, sort of not clear what I'm saying right now. I'm like telling random stories here.
No, I think that was
Uh,
that was a great example
yeah,
because that kinda grounds everything
yeah,
to reality. So basically, the work has to happen on the mat during practice. You gotta work
yeah,
on your thing, and then you have to have a good relationship as a coach and as an
yeah,
athlete. Then, as a good coach on the mat side, have to
yeah,
recognize because of all the time you spent together, you know what
mm,
the athlete
yeah, yeah,
is like. Basically, oh, you know, not enough gas, or he has that second wind coming all the time, and then you gotta make sure, man. It's like almost like the athlete a lot of times, due to inexperience or just adrenaline pumping, can't really do a
yeah.
smart, like, match management,
No,
and the
yeah, you
coach
can't.
is
Yeah,
actually facilitating that. He, like,
yeah,
match management, kinda,
yeah,
shouting very short things. You can't go on a dissertation on how the other guy is, like, showing him Tai Otoshi, and then you gotta do
yeah,
it. No, nothing
yeah.
like that, you know?
Yeah, it's a balance of like technical advice, letting the athlete know that you see something.
Yeah.
It's some of it is from homework from that day.
Yeah.
The other kids, girlfriend just broke up with him, so right?
Tell him no one loves him.
Yeah, no, I know that. Or like giving him the right encouragement because
Yeah.
sometimes you go out there and you're stiff and you're kind of
Yeah.
like stagnant and you play like locked up judo. And how do you break an
No.
athlete out of that?
Yeah.
Hey, loosen up might not help.
Yeah. That's not really
Right?
everyone wants to loosen up. They know
They know that they're
they
stiff and
they
tight.
should they should loosen up,
How do you
but
break them
yeah.
out of that? You got to know
Yeah.
your athlete.
I think more pointed uh directions like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, I it always helps me like when you're on my side when I was competing,
No.
like kind of you yelling me like which hand like in grip fighting because I
Yeah.
always tend to like
Yeah.
drift away trying to like just dive in for throws.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. And
that's
sometimes,
a
you got to be realistic. And when you have a
yeah,
guy, it's like, you're probably not going to beat this guy, but, let's hope that he does something that you can
yeah,
capitalize on that. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, there was a story about, somebody who was an underdog at the Olympics or something. And it's like,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
the
know
coach is like,
exactly. Yeah,
I was like in that world. And I heard like, oh, like, you're probably not going to beat this guy if you lock up with him and stand up with him. Maybe he goes to his back for a Tomonagi or something and you pin him.
yeah.
Maybe. Well, you have a shot. And then, let's hope. Let's just hope he
That
does it. And then the guy goes for a shitty sumi, and you could
oh,
see like,
I remember
and
that.
then the guy's like, you could tell the Russian was like, oh
Oh
shit,
shit, yeah,
bang,
messed
pass
up. Boom.
pin. It's like holy moly, you know what I mean? But it's like, I remember when like Eugene drew Bobby Lee at the Nationals first
Oh,
round.
I
You know,
remember.
Eugene's like, yo, so
What a
I was like, this is gonna be might be
not
quick,
easy.
you
Yeah,
know?
I remember when when you came back from that draw and then you were telling us about it. It's like, oh my god, Eugene drew Bobby Lee.
Yes. Yeah, it's like I couldn't even like fake it. I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
I don't know if you have much of a chance here. I'm sorry. He's very good. I've worked out with him many times.
yeah,
Good luck. Oh, your
yeah,
best. It's great experience almost, You shouldn't kind of like a lot of coaches would kind of go against saying something like that,
yeah,
but managing emotions is another thing. Some people get I could say something like that to Eugene because he's so stoic, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
would never say something like that to like a Terrazzo.
Uh, yeah,
I shouldn't say
because
that about specific names, but like Terrazzo, I would never say that to Terrazzo.
yeah,
If you would have drew somebody like that in this division, you know what I
a
mean?
lot of encouragement. I mean, it depends on the person. For me, I'm like Toronto
Yeah.
too. Like, I don't think I would have liked it. And it's like, oh shit. Like, I need
I
more
would have
like
been a little bit more like,
encouragement. Yeah,
I would have given much more direct, like, hey man, this is what we got to do here, right? We got to
yeah,
get this hand on it. We got to go for this thing. You got to just
yeah,
enforce that. And then you
yeah.
do it consistently, just keep
Definitely.
going for it. And then maybe you'll catch him with this thing, one or two things.
Hmm.
And these are the things that I think you catch him with. I
Yeah,
would stick to that, right? Stay away from the Waza, stay away from this, stay away from
yeah.
this, drop Senagi. Don't go into the Georgian, don't go hit the hip.
Bobby Lee, yeah, he's like he's known for his like choke or something, right? Like he
Yeah, I'm
has his
not
little
saying
bow
Bobby
and
Lee
arrow choke.
versus Taraza. They're in a different weight
Yeah,
class, but like,
yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah,
Bobby's good. He's very good. He's
yeah,
very good. All the
yeah,
legend in the national level judo, right? So,
yeah,
Eugene, my cousin drew him. I know Eugene very well. It's like, hey man, just go out there
yeah,
and do your best, and but
yeah,
he got thrown right away. It's okay.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah,
And then, but everybody sort of has a different way, and there's guys who
yeah.
can't listen to technical advice when they're out there. I've had
Right.
guys like that. You know,
Yeah.
hey, put your pulse and go here and sleeve, and then, or even like, hey, this guy is gonna fall. He's so responsive to your whatever it is. If
Hmm.
you fake fall to go backwards, you're gonna hit him with Ochi. But there's guys who just aren't coachable there.
Yeah, because
So how do you
he's
deal with
so
that?
zoned in. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like maybe majority of the technical advice has to be sort of in the beginning.
yeah. Before he or she steps on the mat. Yeah,
Yeah, and I've had guys who are like kind of like a little bit like, Osoto's there. I guarantee it. Osoto's right there. Go for Osoto.
yeah.
And then the guy's like, I'm trying.
Ah,
Right?
come
And it's
on.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like,
yeah.
okay, all right.
Keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do whatever you want then.
yeah. You get yeah. I think that's another thing. Like you gotta build. You gotta kind of
Yeah.
build up that relationship before maybe I mean
Yeah.
frustration will happen in during the matches, but how do
Yeah.
you gotta work with the athlete to manage that
Yeah.
aspect of the game
And let me tell you
properly.
something
Yeah,
about Matt's eye coaching too.
yeah.
Managing referees. I don't want to say managing referees,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
but being a professional
yeah,
is a big part of this, right? Because if you're
yeah,
at the match, like, oh, shoot, and you're like fighting tooth and nail for every call, right? That was Kyle. That was sorry. What are you doing, you retard ref? Whatever it is, blah blah blah, right? And now all of a sudden, you have a bad reputation. None of the refs like you,
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
supposed to be objective, but every time
But
they see you in the coaching chair, they're gonna be like, you know what? Fuck this guy in the students,
yeah,
man. This guy's such
yeah,
a pain in my ass.
yeah.
Any like ambiguous call, could it go this way? Could it go that way? They're gonna
Right,
give it to
right.
the other guy because they hate your
Yeah,
guts.
yeah.
And I've made that mistake plenty of times.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, in the beginning, especially because I didn't know a lot of what I
Right.
know now. And when I first started coaching guys and taking people to tournaments, I was just sitting aside and yell like a lunatic.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing was like
Uh,
as soon as somebody would throw somebody, like I would call up, right?
uh,
If it was my guy. So if it
uh,
was a Wazari,
uh,
boom. And if my guy was
Ipo.
throwing, I would
Yeah,
immediately Ipo,
yeah.
right? And if the other guy threw my guy for Wazari, I would boom, immediately say
You
Yuko. And I
go.
would like downgrade it real quick. And then
Uh,
I used to influence referees a lot like that.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. And then sometimes it'll get waved off, but sometimes they're like,
Yeah,
don't bother with
yeah,
it.
little, yeah.
Yes. And I knew this, right?
Uh,
And then the referees were like, don't coach the
yeah,
refs. And then they got
yeah.
really strict about doing that kind of a thing. But I did
Uh,
it anyway. And then I was not very
y-
favored well with these
uh,
people, you
uh,
know? And then, there was some friction there.
Right.
because I would argue back, and then I would argue calls and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And you're there for the athlete, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes there are egregious calls, and
Right.
sometimes there's more than you can do not fighting these small calls, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You
And
gotta
then
you gotta see it in the long term, like,
yeah,
yeah,
I'll
you
give you
built
another
up
one.
a
I remember
yeah.
this exactly. I was watching this guy. He was doing drop senagi,
Yeah.
and the guy was doing drop senagi, just bailing out, bailing out, bailing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the referee gives the Shido, and now all of a
Yeah.
sudden the coach is going nuts, like arguing this penalty.
Right, right, right.
Oh, he's robbing us. He's going for senagi, whatever it is, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like, is that the best use of your voice
Right,
right
you
now?
should be
You know,
telling maybe he should have been
yeah,
coaching the athlete.
athlete probably could have
Yeah.
been, because he's scared, right? He's like trying to bail
Yeah.
out tonight, like fake Sanagi, go Kochi, go
Yeah.
Tomonagi instead because you don't get penalty for Tomonagi
Yeah.
bailout. So you just don't,
Right.
right? That's a huge like
Like a
thing.
trick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trick. It's a hack.
Yeah.
If you drop Sanagi for a bailout, if the guy doesn't get off balance, you're gonna get
You can
penalized.
pound yeah.
Tomonagi,
Okay.
head until the moon comes home. Like seriously, like you'll never get penalized. So it's
Right,
like, hey,
right.
hey, don't do drop Sanagi, do Tomonagi instead, dude. It's better,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you see that this guy has good Newaza because you've never seen him before. He almost
Yeah.
passes, almost pins him. Like, okay, forget some of that. Let's go Sumigaishi now.
So because
Let's spam
yeah.
Sumi. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Or let's spam Sumi and then yeah, still, you could potentially get passed, right?
Yeah. But, that's better than fighting with the ref. It can actually do something about this, if you
Yeah. And you
direct
know
the
what? Here's
athlete.
another one. One man, the guy's kind of tired.
Yeah.
Just grip fight, put him to the ground and just like sit and turn him the walls and just put a lot of pressure on him, get him tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't try to score. We'll just take him to overtime. We'll take him to golden score.
Right,
You
right.
keep cool under pressure and you just break him one day. You know what? Like 4 minutes in, 5 minutes in, just stay level headed. He
Yeah.
probably can't throw you that well. Keep going for
And
these and pressure in the walls. And that's their new strategy.
yeah.
You're not going to be able to throw him, right?
It's a legit
It's a good strategy.
strategy.
Like
Yeah.
that's better than like screaming at the refs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of pieces of this. That's like coaching. I anticipated it to be a lot shorter this episode, but you know,
No, it's good. You pulled out a lot of stories from your little story bag.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's tough,
But
man. Like mat side coaching too. I know I'm like talking as if like, oh, my mat side coaching's
yeah.
great, but honestly, man, it's like you have a match going on, you have another match going on, keeping track of 10 athletes and doing this, and then
It's a lot. Yeah.
sometimes it's like, yo, can you sit over there in that guy's athlete's chair? And it helps and it doesn't. Some
Yeah.
people feel very like sad when you don't sit in their chair. Some people need you more.
Uh-huh.
Some people need a little bit more like emotional support going in and
Yeah.
validation. And it's really a lot to keep track of, and so much can happen, so much can go wrong. But I would say 90% of it is really knowing your athlete. And then it
Yeah.
happens way before you even step foot on that mat.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
That's
yeah,
that's the most important part. Yeah.
it really is.
You
It
can't
is.
just turn someone into a super athlete by
No,
bedside coaching, you know?
no, yeah,
Yeah.
can't.
Cool.
But it
Oh,
helps if the guy
yeah.
trusts you and listens to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You can pull a fast one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that was a good conversation.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope. That's it. Thank you guys
Cool.
for listening, as always.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yep.